Oh, shoot. Are we rolling? Okay, we're rolling. Hello! Welcome to the video. It's September 19th, Friday, 1 p.m. And I wanted to start this vlog. I'm really excited about it. But in this vlog, I'm hoping to kind of reflect on this past summer as we're transitioning into my favorite season ever, fall. And I think for me, the biggest highlight of this summer has been getting into knitting. This is truly the summer I learned how to knit. So very excited. And also, this is the Friday after the Wednesday that the last episode of season 3 of The Summer I Turned Pretty aired, and I am still recovering from this episode, and I cannot believe there's a movie coming out. Oh my god, I cannot believe there's a movie coming out. Summer was a lot of self-reflection and processing a lot of like complex emotions and thoughts and things that have been happening in my life, and allowing myself to be patient with that process. And something that really helped with that was getting into knitting. I feel like the patience required to knit, and also the fact that I'm learning a new skill, was really helpful for me. The act of knitting is in a way like reflective and patient, and requires a lot of, failure and learning and then picking yourself back up. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it more throughout this video. Why I came to love knitting. It's more than just making a sweater vest, which was my last video, by the way, if you want to check it out. And I'm in love with it now, and I have a lot of fall knitting plans. I'm so excited. I already cast on 2 of them. I'm just going to be kind of showing y'all some fun things that I want to do for myself as we transition into fall. A lot of DIY things. Last night I got started with the fall transitions, took out some decor. Oh, and then a few weeks ago I did make a fall purchase. I was in Houston and I happened to pass by Bath & Body Works. I have not stepped into a Bath & Body Works in a few years, so this was kind of exciting. I really just leaned into the nostalgia, and unfortunately the nostalgia led to some consumerism. 3 single wick fall candles because they were having a sale. I meant to only buy 2, but then the employee told me I could get another one for free, so that's pretty great. I thought it was a good deal. This is white pumpkin. And then I got this cinnamon spiced vanilla. And this one is my favorite, so I've been kind of saving it, but it's called Book Loft. So I'm about to use this new Swift and ball winder that my friend Christine and I bought together as our community yarn winding system. This is from Stanwood. I believe they're like one of the best like hand crank yarn winders. Look at this yarn. Hello. This is from the Social Knitwork in Spring, Texas. I was visiting Houston, and I was up north in the Houston suburbs, and I bought this Noro, and then I forgot to ask them to wind it for me. So that's what we're doing today, is we are going to wind it ourselves. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's a beautiful taupe. This is the Noro number 15 taupe DK. Sonata, I think, is the yarn, but it's a stunning taupe. It's actually made out of like 2 different colors, like a blue, a very, very, very pale blue, and a very, very, very pale like terracotta red. And then together, it makes this kind of like taupe color. Right? No. But wow, it's so beautiful, and I am going to be making a scarf out of this as a part of my fall knits. I'll be making a scarf. But yeah, this is the umbrella Swift. And then I'm just going to put this on and then straighten it out until it's even across. And then we'll just tighten it. Like that. Alright, and then now I just need to cut where the yarn is being held. So I did cut the end / start. I'm gonna say that's the back and this is the front. Let's go ahead and put this back on. There it is. Whoa, look at it. So easy.
I know. Isn't that fun?
That's so fun.
But you should wind it.
And it's so high quality.
I know.
It looks really strong.
Yeah. This color is so
Options. Oh my god, it's so cute.
That is so adorable. Why are they not so freaking large?
But this is good for your sunglasses.
Yes, yeah.
Aw, cute.
So cute.
Yarn haul.
You get like a little surprise one. Like a little skein of a surprise.
That's so fun. Oh, that is a nice color.
It's a free sample. Oh, it's cotton linen.
Oh.
June worsted. That's cute. 2 skeins of stormy superwash sock to stripe
Oh.
and make little micro stripe socks.
Cute.
Really nice.
Mm.
This one I mainly got because I needed to reach free shipping. And
Wait.
it was like $6 or something, like $7.
That's so cute.
It's called Speckled Pin.
Wait, this is so
Isn't
cute.
it so cute? All the color combinations were so cute.
I love this.
Right? Okay, this is the one for the sweater. Oh,
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
It's like got a really nice like gray.
Yeah, it's like,
kind
like
of heather.
yeah, heathered. I
That's
love it.
cute.
It's
I think
nice
that would
and
be
cool
really cute.
toned.
Yeah. That's it.
this season. Really simple. It's just some sweet peas and sweet corn in chicken stock. I wish I used chicken broth instead, but still really good. And some seasoning, and then olive oil and some lemon juice, and then this Costco shawarma chicken that's like already cooked. Okay, so let's talk about my 3 main inspirations that got me into knitting. 1, my friend Christine. 2, this yarn store I went to in Seoul. And then 3, watching knitting YouTube and knitting podcasts. So the first one, Christine. She's one of my best friends, and she is one of the biggest inspirations for me, and like has been very formative in exposing me to fiber arts and different ways I can lean into the DIY crafty person that I feel like is in me. I've always been into like crafting and making things, but I think she's the one that really exposed me to like resources and like tools, and I highly recommend following her Instagram, Kinda Warm. So yeah, I think she had placed that inkling in the back of my head of like, okay, eventually I do want to try knitting. And then 2 was going to Seoul last year and going to a yarn store. I was walking around with a friend near Insadong, and we went to this yarn store, I think called My Knit Studio or something like that, and it was so cute, and it was run by this older couple. And at that time I didn't really know anything about yarn, anything about knitting, but I decided that I wanted to make a scarf. So then I picked up some random yarn. It's Rowan cotton glacé, totally not the right yarn for a scarf. I know that now, but I ended up picking up this yarn, and that was when I kind of committed to trying knitting. I had that yarn kind of sitting around for a while, and then I went to the Austin Creative Reuse Center and got some random needles and decided to start making the scarf without a pattern. Going to that store was definitely like another marker in this knitting journey. And then the last thing was getting recommended knitting podcast videos on my YouTube. I started watching a lot of knitting YouTube before I even started knitting because it would get recommended. I was already in similar spaces around that. I was watching a lot of craft vlogs, a lot of like fiber arts, like sewing stuff. Slowly, I started getting recommended knitting podcasts, which are like super long, and I found them really comforting, so I would play them in the background of doing chores. And then I would start paying attention to what these people were saying, and I'm like, oh wait, this stuff is actually pretty cool. Like I was learning about yarn content, different things you could make, like patterns. I was learning about Ravelry. And then my friend Christine went to Copenhagen, and that's when I was like, okay, maybe I should have her buy me some yarn because I'm in Copenhagen. And so then I found the Novice Slipover by Petite Knit, and then I made that vest. This summer, I found myself just like knitting away. Like I started my Ravelry account, and like working on that vest was really formative for me. It's like, oh my god, like I'm actually making something that is actually turning out into something. Hello. I have 2 knitting projects that are cast on for the fall, but this is what it looks like so far. And this is the yarn, but I love the sheen that this yarn has. It's the Noro Sonata yarn, which I think is mainly cotton, and then I think it has a bunch of other things in it. I think it might have some silk. I wound this yarn on my Yarn Swift and Winder that I co-own with my friend Christine, and so far working with this yarn, it's not too bad. I will say it is a bit hard to work with, and I'm working a lot slower because the yarn is mainly cotton, and so it is a little hard to work with in that regard. It like catches a lot on the needles. There's a lot more like friction, but I'm making the Simple Things scarf, and it starts like at one tip, and then you just do a bunch of increases, and then you do a bunch of decreases, and that's how you make like a triangle shape. And it uses an I-cord. Setting up the I-cord was a bit confusing for me. I kind of struggled with it, and I had to do it a few times to like get it right. And I can tell that a lot of people get stuck on the same step that I get stuck on, which is like during the setup you have to like pick up stitches on like the co-edge or something like that, and that's like really confusing, like what loops you're picking up. Like the cast on edge, it's like hard to identify. And then because this yarn is kind of like, I forgot what this texture is, but it's like very like loosely twisted, and the size of the yarn kind of changes throughout. Like there's some parts of the yarn where it's like really thick, like here. It's not like as uniform, and so it's a bit confusing. And then my other knitting project that I'm working on is the Ribka. This is how it's looking so far, and I love this color, these colors. It kind of reminds me of like a rainbow trout, and I'm excited about it to make a little colorful accessory to hang on my bag. And I plan on putting my lip balm. See, it's perfect for a tube lip balm. This is just one side of the fish. I'm working on the fin. It looks like this is the fin, but this is actually where the mouth will go. And then the fin is here. But the fin is kind of complicated. It has like a chart to follow. But because this yarn is colorful, you can't really see the pattern that's appearing. Yeah, it's not as visible. These are my 2 fall knitting projects. And then I did get yarn recently to make a sweater. I was gonna do that next after doing my vest, but then I realized like I kind of wanted some things I could quickly make and, you know, wear in the fall. And yeah, I don't have like a scarf like this, so why not make one? And I'm talking really quietly because my roommate is here, so I don't want to be disruptive. But yeah, that's all for my knitting updates, my whips. also wanted to take some time to talk about reasons why I love knitting, because I think I have talked about how I got into it, but then I kind of forgot that there's a reason why I'm particularly fascinated by knitting. The first reason is that I was watching a lot of video essays on kind of the history of fiber arts as a whole, and how a lot of fiber arts historically was used as a form of resistance, as a form of like revolution. It is something that is tied to women historically, and now within pop culture it's tied to older women. It's considered a grandma hobby, but there's been a recent resurgence in grandma hobbies being adopted by Gen Z like me, and how it also links to better mental health. And to me, knitting is such a patient practice. It is one of the ultimate forms of slow fashion that you can participate in. In the simple process, there is a lot of patience and care, and a lot of math that's gone into the practice, and I think that is really fascinating. By participating in knitting, I feel like I am participating in a resistance to consumerism and neoliberalism and capitalism, and not that performing a grandma hobby the solution to anything, but it's a way that I can, participate in some way. We do what we can, and this is something I can do. Yeah, there's a lot of really great discourse around this, and so I will link some articles and video essays that I've read that I find really interesting on this topic. And then I really like knitting because it is also historically tied to coding. Also, it is a binary system at its core. There has been programming and coding that has been inspired by knitting and weaving as well, and I think that's super cool. The process of knitting, because it is a lot of computation and patterns and problem solving, it's a very similar process to coding, and as somebody who is familiar with coding and tech, I think that is really cool. So I will also link some articles on that, but I think that's pretty sick. Fiber arts on the surface is often seen as this like silly, frivolous hobby or craft, and it's never thought of as a true skill or art form. It is often like put down, when in fact there's so much complexity and nuance and historical significance and cultural significance to knitting. But yeah, sorry, I'm a little tired, so I may sound tired, but that's all I want to talk about right now. she meowing about?